John and Kate plus 8. More like John and Kate plus hate.
Well, that's what it worked out to be.
Yeah.
Tonight was just one of those things where everything sort of like boom, clicked right.
It was
on
an
top.
inviting
It was
audience
good,
tonight. To play places like this where it actually kind of takes us out of our regular norm, where it's like you kind of interact more with the audience, where they're like, you know, they're 3 feet away from you. Not that last night they weren't 3 feet away, but it's more, you're more apt to actually talk to them because you can kind of see them or they're saying stuff back and forth to you and you can kind of hear them. Like tonight is more of like, it's a reserved audience, right? They're sitting down and they're kind of taking it all in. So it's like, it's nice to kind of play in those places where it kind of forces you into interpreting your music differently or seeing your music differently. Canadians say no in front of a lot of things, even though they agree with something. They're like, no, yes, blah, blah, blah.
When you connect with a crowd, whether you're talking between songs or the songs do that too, and then when they're on your side and you know that no matter what, everyone's having fun, then like the little, all that stuff doesn't matter. If you're having a night where you've made no connection, then every mistake is a giant ball of shit. But on a night, we had mistakes tonight. It wasn't perfect, but those, I don't remember. Because the grand total of the night was an incredible thing.
Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, like we'll get into that on the ride home. We'll be yelling at each other. If you have an audience on your side and everyone's in the same boat, then making those mistakes is all like, oh, that's totally, like it's totally fine. Like I mean, tonight was one of those things where we literally spent a lot of time talking to the crowd.
We gotta make a live record of whatever just happened tonight, I think, and we'll just put it out. It's like the band that talks about everything.
And we do that a lot, but I loved it doing that. When you have that kind of banter back and forth, and the crowd is into it, and they're kind of like helping you out. You're all in a living room. You're not on stage and off the stage. Like here, you're on the ground anyways. There's no stage. You're below everyone. You're actually on the rug, and it's like playing in a living room with raised benches everywhere. So it's a different vibe than like a band being up here and the crowd being here. The crowd's like actually all around you and above you. So I find that. It's a different kind of thing. It's cool, you know.
Like you could see every.
Yeah, I think we talked to like every person individually. I felt like I did. I was like, hey, so
I gave them a report card at the end. I told them how they did.
And you know, you get to talk to them after. Yeah, it's one of those which I think hopefully for everyone. I mean, I'll go home after this and think, wow, that's a great experience. You know, we got to play here, and we're lucky enough to do this. This is our job. You know, people come and pay to see this, which is sometimes this is a wild experience to think like that people give you their money to come and do this. But it's amazing that, this kind of venue exists and that people come and do that and come to see us, and they're on the ride with us for that, which can go up and down and it could go horribly wrong, and even, but like I said, if you have the crowd with you, everyone's going the same way.
Even like the audience tonight, like for the banjo song where like the one guy laughed.
Some joke.
It totally took me like right out of the moment to the point where I was like, I could barely finish that part of
Someone had been stepped on my neck. That's right. It is kind of funny.
He laughed right, and it was like, that's perfect, because I was off the mic laughing because I was like, this is amazing. So like the saddest kind of poignant part of the song, and the guys have, I don't know what was funny, I don't know, which was totally fine. It was just, but it made it, then other people see you laughing, they're like, yeah, this is what's happening.
The whole thing is like, that song has never been performed like that, and will never be performed like that again. That's the beauty of like live music.
I mean, like if there's something going on that's wrong on stage, it's like it's one of the three of us, and it's like, what can we work this out and figure it out? But yeah, I don't know. It's like that trio dynamic when you have extra things going on. I mean, I only play bass pedals because I had free feet, and I found them in a pawn shop, and I was like, well, what's that? And figured I was already sitting down, so it all happened kind of like naturally, and now I'm used to them. Or that's the word, yeah. So for
buzzwords, use the buzzwords when you talk about
hit the buzzwords. You have to hit. I'm sitting in a barber throne, so it's not being pretentious at all here. And it adds like a thickness to the sound. Like people would look and go, "Wow, there's only 3 of them up there." But I mean, we're not the only ones who do that. There's a lot of bands who incorporate all that kind of stuff. Tonight was definitely one of those nights where it's like, wow, everything is going really well. And after playing together for so long, there's an intuition about it. It's not some nights things go wrong. It's always going to happen. Like last night, there was a ton of stuff. I was like, oh, what happened?
And not to use an analogy, it's like you kind of like a hockey analogy is like you've played so long together, you kind of know where everybody's going. You can kind of play blind at times. Whereas just like if sound is kind of bad up on stage, you know what that person is doing, and you know that you kind of have a good sound person up front. So it's like, okay, well, we know where we're at, we know what we're doing, and you kind of. It
is. There's a lot of it is just experience, because believe me, there's been tons of shows that have been terrible. Like just where. If we were sitting here talking to you, we would be miserable and be like, we're frauds, we are shit. Like, some nights that the fraud complex happens where you like play a show and you're like, ugh. But when something good like this happens, it erases all of those like little moments and nights and all that stuff.
We have merchandise for sale. We have hats, t-shirts.
Check out our website. We got Facebook. When I was a young man, Steve, I used to jump around. Man. I would jump all over the place.
I was where you were then.
I know. I'm in so much pain right now. My muscles all hurt.
I fell down outside.
Just Mark fell before we got here. It's all good. It's like people love seeing old men try really hard to be young. That's what they love. That's what everyone wants to see.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to us in the Elliott BROOD.